Yo, I'm going to start this one more time. I'm now streaming on YouTube. I hope. Let me know, YouTube. Let me know, Facebook, if you can see me, if you can hear me. In this video, I would like to help you create your next or first high ticket offer. Inside this video, I'd even like to show you how to create a $100,000 offer. You may say to yourself, what? $100,000? Who are you to show me this stuff? Well, if we haven't met before, my name is Eileen Wilder, and I used to be a pastor for 20 years, but now I've made millions of dollars doing something called selling from stage, where you can create high ticket offers and then present those offers one to many. So if you're a coach, consultant, or an entrepreneur and you're tired of being stuck in sales, not making enough money, maybe you have a sales team or you're closing on the phone right now, I would like to wrap my arms around you, give you a big hug, and tell you there's a better way. There's a way to package up your expertise, sell your knowledge right now through a virtual masterclass online, and have people raise their hand and say, yes, I want to go all in. So if you want to grow your business faster, like working less, making more, learn the art of selling from stage. All right, so let's dive deeper inside of this video. I believe I have some students coming on because I have some questions that they were asking me earlier. And one of the number one questions I got, what's up, Sean? Sean was asking me a question that I wanted to tackle first. Is he said, Eileen, how do I brainwash myself? I think the question, Sean, let me say, you said, how can you help me get my mind to accept that I could charge high ticket? Like, have you ever been in that place where you're like, I've heard about it, but like, how do I believe it? You know what I'm saying? Like, how can I, and don't you recognize that you want to brainwash yourself into your own value? Sean had such a really cool thing. And let me know, Sean, let us all know in the chat who it is, how you serve people and the results you've gotten. Because Sean was like, I've even gotten all these crazy results for people, but I still struggle with saying that price and commanding that high ticket price. You know what I'm saying? So you have now, and Sean he says, I've charged high ticket big time. So tell me what you've charged before, but let me talk, you're writing, Sean, how you can brainwash yourself. Well, first of all, then the quickest way to start charging high ticket, I don't know if you guys are going to like this, but I haven't seen anything work faster than this, so you are going to like it, is buying something high ticket. What? I know. Why? Because you don't have, I heard someone, I think it was Myron, say, if you're unwilling to pay, you'll be unable to charge. Woo, Myron Golden. If you're unwilling to pay, you'll be unwilling to charge, meaning you won't have the sauce. You won't have the conviction. You won't even know what that person's going through. In fact, you'll sound so inauthentic and out of alignment if you have not purchased something high ticket before. Here's the greatest gift that purchasing something high ticket is. I remember being a part of a table rush. Have you ever seen a table rush at an event where a bunch of people run and buy something? It's so fun to do. I was a part of a group of people that bought around a $20,000 package. And when I saw that not just me, but actually 600 other people bought this $20,000 thing, my mind woke up to the fact that, wow, people are out here buying high ticket stuff. This is like something people do. I never heard of coaching before or a mastermind before, but I was like, oh my gosh, people do this sauce. So, and then when I bought it, I got the greatest gift, which was now an evidence file in my own mind that normal people who are in debt, people who are struggling to figure it out, people who don't even know what they're doing, can always find access to the money. Come on, somebody. You always can have access to the money. You can always figure it out. So when I watched myself figure it out, guess what I learned? Anybody can figure it out. Stop telling yourself a story that's for other people or that's too expensive. No, the only limitation that exists in your own mind is the story you're telling yourself. You always have access to the money. Slap your neighbor upside the head and say, go get it. You know what I'm saying? I called every family member I was like, "Yo, do you have money?" Like, I mean, I was not very good at asking, but I learned that was, I was like, "Oh, okay, don't say it that way." But I learned so create the evidence file by go buying high ticket. It will give you the conviction that you can charge high ticket. If you're with me, comment with me in the chat. Let's go now. So that's the biggest way you can brainwash is and then you never get in life what you want. You only get in life who you are. Stand by. So if you only like get in life who you are, the number one way you can attract high ticket buyers, come on, somebody, is become a high ticket buyer. If you'll become a high ticket buyer, in fact, surround yourself with only premium things to brainwash yourself. I'm a premium person. Who's with me? Like, do you love things of excellence, things of quality? Those are premium buyers. So you want to become one of them, like absolutely yesterday, so that you can attract premium people and premium buyers. Okay. Let's go. Now, Sean, let me give you some other and I can see I'm coming back to you, Sean, in the comments. Some other ways to brainwash yourself into charging high ticket is print out pieces of paper on your and paste them on your wall of the different price packages you would like to have. Let's say it's a 5K, let's say it's a 10K, let's say 25K and 100K. You want to print out those numbers in like 55 font and then put them on your wall so that when you get ideas for what to put inside of those offers, you can write them on the kind of below the price point on that blank piece of paper. Go, oh, okay, for 5K, they're going to get this, but for 100K, they're going to get this VIP day at the Ritz. You know what I'm saying? So you're going to get these ideas. So you want to start constantly creating. The other thing you want to do is start to marinate your mind how valuable it is what you know. So if your eye starts to see price points, 5K, 10K, 25K, 100K, come on, somebody, 250K, where's your $1 million offer? Come on, I'm pushing you a little bit today. Like, if you'll start to marinate your own mind in your price points, you're going to wake up one day and the numbers are going to roll off your tongue like, pass the salt, please. May I have some more cheesecake? So cool. There's a story in the Bible about these calves that had no spots, and then they got spots on them simply by looking at a piece of spotted canvas, I believe the scripture says, every day when they went to a watering hole. The owner wanted his cows to have spots, so he put spotted canvas like in front of them, and their spots changed. What's the takeaway? You are becoming what you're beholding. Woo, if we had a church organ up in here, you're becoming so whatever you're holding before your eyes, you're going to hold in your hand. So you're becoming already whatever it is you're beholding. Man, Sean, you're getting me preaching up in here. Okay, team. My other brainwashing secrets, wish I should buy that URL yesterday. My other brainwashing secrets are printing out all of your testimonials. So all the cool things that people say about you are so cool, right? They write you emails, they record videos, they're like, Sean's the best in the world. And all this is amazing, but you know what happens? It is said one day and then leaves. And what you have to do is marinate your own mind in you're the best in the world. So some of my best and most successful clients have printed out all of their testimonials. In fact, I'm going to do this real soon with my clients' pictures on them in my wall, like a hall of fame of like my most successful clients, to marinate your mind in the stories. Oh, like think about the Bible where it talks about like they would make altars of stone. They would have festivals of celebrations, holidays. Like they were constantly marinating in the stories of success. So that's another brainwashing secret, going to get that URL. So those are my brainwashing secrets. The next point, Sean, you said is like, you actually said, how do I not feel guilty? There was something you said, hold on, stand by. Oh, if they don't get the result. Sean, you said that. So here's the question. How do I not feel guilty if they don't get the result? Okay, this is going to change someone's life right now. Your job as a coach, consultant, and entrepreneur. What's up, Tiffany, Chad, Megan? It's like Michael Wadlow. What's up, team? You guys are dropping some sauce. Drea, okay. Your job as a coach, consultant, and entrepreneur is one job and one job only, and that is to point people to the system. Point people to the system. Point people to the steps. Point people to the machine that you've built. You're creating and curating this system that will generate like input. They go in the system, out comes the result. In the system, out comes the result. Now, the problem is not everyone follows the steps. Can I get a witness? Or an altar call. Have you ever bought something and not followed the steps? You know what I mean? Not everybody follows the steps, but is that your fault? Or is that their responsibility? Here's the question, here's the frame. If a person would go into my system and do everything I'm telling them to do, like a good parent, right? Like if they would follow the steps and follow the system, this is a lot like God, ladies and gentlemen. He's set up a system of success, and it's not his fault if we're not successful, right? So he sets up if they follow the system and do the steps and do what it is I'm teaching them to do, they will get this result. That's your job, is to set up the system. Your job is not their results. Your job is not to drive to their house, take them by the hand, physically walk. Like, your job is not to see. There's an over responsibility that coaches, consultants, and entrepreneurs take on. And here's the problem. It enables dysfunction in your clients and your customers. You're robbing them of the gift of figuring it out. You're like, well, Eileen, that's not a gift for them to 100%. That's how they become the entrepreneur that gets the result, is them getting the muscles. Think about a child and how many times they fall down, and we don't yell at them. We're like, good job. Like, they're figuring it out. And you need to allow them to figure it out by pointing them. Your one job is to point them to the system. Then they start to develop muscles and strength. And guess what they get? The greatest gift of all, which is discovering the them inside of them. They get the gift of seeing how magnificent they are, how unstoppable, how tenacious, how resilient, how resourceful they can become. Okay. You're giving them the keys to success when you don't do the job for them. If you're with me today, somebody shout amen. If you know you're not responding. And I heard someone say this, that if you position yourself as the solution, like, yo, I am your answer. If you position yourself as a solution, you're also positioning yourself as the problem. If I'm your solution, right? And then I'm not getting you your solution like you want it at the timetable you want it. Why aren't you texting me back at 3 a.m.? Now I am your biggest problem. And you don't want to be, right? You don't, let me know in the comments below if you don't want to be someone's source. No, the system is the source. I mean, ultimately, God is the source, and he made all the systems, and we're just out here, nothing new under the sun. Like, you're tracking. But you don't want to be someone's whole world. No, thank you. That's too much pressure. I have my kids to take care of. I can't handle that. Okay. Here's my next brainwashing tip. I think, because I told you, Sean, I was going to give you 4, and I think I only gave you 3. So I'm just out here trying to be a person of integrity of my word, Sean. Number 4 is divorce yourself from the outcome. Sometimes clients, the outcome, they all want different things. Like, sometimes people want millions of dollars, 6 figures. Da, 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 da. Sometimes people just want to be connected to you. They want to be in the room. They want to be in the mastermind. They're getting something different out of it. So just divorce yourself from everybody else's outcome and them getting all the results. Now, here's what I'm not saying. Don't be supportive. I am not that coach consultant person who's like, oh, I'm out of delivery. I don't, so I hire other people to do that. That's what I'm not saying. In fact, supporting my clients is literally like, you have to hold me back. Like I love it. I love them so much and I want them to go over, like I love them. So that's what I'm not saying. So hear me correctly when I'm saying the system is the greatest gift, and them executing the system and applauding them as they're becoming the person is the greatest gift you could ever give as a coach, consultant, and an entrepreneur. In fact, this morning I was thinking to myself, the greatest asset that I've provided is the system and the atmosphere around the system. Think about the Garden of Eden, like the atmosphere of prosperity, the atmosphere of abundance, the atmosphere for that clients to connect, to form relationships, to form JVs, to form partnerships as they're moving through the system and giving themselves time to become the person they need to become. So thank you, Sean. He says I've over-delivered. All right, let's go. Thanks, Sean. Okay, I got Mason, who's, I don't know, Mason, if you're up in here, but give me like a yo, yo, yo in the chat if you are. But Mason's like, how do I create the offer? How do I create the product? So the way that you're going to create the product is through, this is so good. This is the easiest way to create an offer, and the product is, I just talked about the systems. You're like, how do I create the system? The system is very closely tied in my mind to the offer. Let me dive deeper. Why? Because when you're communicating your offer so that people say yes, when you talk about the steps that you're going to take people through to get them to the end result, that's how they know that you know what you're doing. Have you ever pulled your car over and asked someone for directions and they kind of sounded uncertain and they were like, follow the bend in the road, and when you see the large oak tree, turn a sharp right, and you're like, okay, never mind. Like, but then you ask someone else and they're like, oh, it's 3 blocks down, take a left. You know what I mean? They're certain. When you're certain with your system, certain with your steps, certain with your roadmap, people are like, oh, that's the guy. Think about this. Have you ever gone into a doctor's office and he is like, oh, yeah, I know exactly that pain and that problem. And all you got to do is first you got to do this, then you got to do that, then you got to do that. And then we're going to do this. And I got you. Like, I do this all day. The certainty around explaining your steps. Are you tracking with me? Type tracking in the live chat or tracking in the comments. Like, if you can just learn what are the steps you provide, you can communicate your offer and never be broke again a day in your life. So how do you make the system? Well, the very first thing I do is I make a big line. I do this for every client in my VIP. I'm like, we're going to make a line. They're like, are we drawing stick figures? I'm like, yes, this is how you're going to do a 6 and 7 figure a day. So A is the hell that your clients are in. So just kind of write down, well, let's go slow. A on one side, Z on the other. That's the end result you're going to take them to. And then all you're going to do is 3 to 5 steps between A and Z. You're going to make the steps up. And the steps are going to be what takes a person from hell to heaven. I was going to break out in song, but then I lost it. Okay, hell to heaven. A to Z. What are the 3 to 5 moves? I say moves. Some people use the word steps. Some use the word pillars. You got to think about like the 3 to 5 things they have to do to hit the end result. And let me give you some examples. One time I signed up for a health and fitness offer, and my coach, Lydia, was like, yo, or I said to her, yo, Lydia, I want your toned arms. Tone me, please. And then her husband, who sold it with her, Ryan, who I just love so much, shout out to Lydia and Ryan, my favorite people in the entire world. He's like, what, you're going to walk into a room, you're going to see yourself in the mirror, and you're going to think, I look so good. I was like, take my money. They painted heaven for me. They're like, you're going to walk in a room and you're going to look like this, or you're going to get these toned arms like Lydia. They just sold me heaven. It didn't take 9 years and $400,000 and 42 events for me to figure, like, they just said, like, hey, are you struggling? Like, you want to get more toned and you want to look like this? I was like, yes. And then Lydia was like, cool. The first thing we're going to do, watch this sidebar. Step 1 is we're going to start with your supplements. I was like, I can do that because it was high ticket. I think they bought the supplements and they sent the supplements to me. I'd have to figure all that sauce out. They sent the supplements to me. I can do that. Step 1, step 2 is we're going to start lifting weights. If you want to get toned like me, you got to do what the pros do. I was like, oh, stop trash talking me, Lydia. Like, I want to be pro. And she's like, yeah, you got to lift weights. I was like, okay. So that was step 2. We're going to lift weights. And then she said, the third step we're going to do is we're going to increase your protein. I don't think you're getting enough protein. I don't think you're eating enough. I was like, oh, I definitely want to eat more. So sign me up. And by the end, you're going to be toned like me. You guys are so funny in the comments. You seeing it? She had a system. She had steps. She had firearms. I was like, let's go. 15K. She crushes it. She's a student of mine, client of mine. I think she's made over $300,000 just with those steps. I'm going to give you some more examples, but here's some big mistakes. Sometimes we think as entrepreneurs that I got to put more in the offer for it to sell, right? Like the more steps, the more complex, the more membership, more calls, the more. No. People want like a simple, streamlined system. They want to know that you know what you're doing. One of the biggest signs is if you have a system. One of the biggest signs is if you're charging high ticket, because if you're charging low ticket for this, I don't think you know what you're doing. So your price is informing people of your value. Okay. So Mason, I kind of feel like I crushed it answering your question. If you're here, let me know. Some other examples. This was a non-wealth offer. Mine is a wealth offer. So if you want to make money, so my system is called, if you're in the business space or you're in the, I don't know, you're helping people make money, $1 Million Masterclass. The hell is they're making no money. They're in no money, or they're on sales calls or have a big sales team. It's like so complex. They're working too hard. Like they have no free time. They hate their life. Typically, that's who comes to me. They don't. I don't even have to hate your life. It's just hard. Everything's hard. Over here, we're doing 6 and 7 figure days all day, baby. 6 and 7 figure days, working 1 day a month, selling in a masterclass or a challenge. So the rest of the time, I'm not working. I'm usually reading or hanging out with my kids. So that's our hell. No, that's our heaven. System. First, we're going to decide. What are we deciding? First step is decision. So for you, I'll tell you how this could work for you. We're going to decide what your offer is, and we're going to decide when your masterclass is. So a date, what the offer is, and the date. Next step, we're going to fill the masterclass and events. If you are inside one of my challenges, which I'm doing right now, so click a link somewhere on this page. Tomorrow, we're going to talk about how to fill your events for $0 of paid ads. It's really good. Fill. Next step, host. We're going to host the masterclass and the events, meaning we're going to present your message, your offer in a way that causes a lot of desire for people to want your stuff. Last step, I have 4 in mind. So it's 3 to 5. So I have 4 in mind. Decide, fill, host. Last step, post event, which for us is, we call it collecting all the money. After you do an event, when you sell from stage, people are sending you wires, credit card payments. They're sometimes getting funding with a funding partner. We have a funding partner that people can borrow money from if they need it. So collecting money is like a whole department, is a whole thing. So a lot of people, one time, y'all, I did it was a master class for somebody. It was actually a challenge. And I sold from stage, and I gave them basically I closed it down. I did a great job, and I gave them 100 people wanting to buy their stuff. Let me put it like that. There were 100 hands that got raised for the offer, but they did not do what I told them to do in the post event. Meaning 100 people put down a deposit for the offer. In the post event, they lost all the money. They didn't have a good follow-up process. They weren't emailing, they weren't texting, can you imagine 100 people wanting to buy your stuff and your team and you like not following up with them? Somebody type, "Dear Lord." It was so sad. It was a sad day. It was a sad day. So post-event is not to be messed with. Don't mess around when people are trying to wire you money and not respond to them. I can't right now. There's like I'm gonna keep it moving. All right. Post-event. So that's how you create your offer and how you create your system. Now, you want to create $100,000 offer, same path, same system for offer creation, A to Z, 3 to 5 steps. You want to just make sure in that result for that $100,000 offer that typically you could help someone make $1 million or more. So if you're going to sell something $100,000, you want to 10x the result. Maybe you need, so it could be revenue, like $1 million or more. So you see how you're 10xing the end result. If you're going to pay me $100,000, I'm going to make you at least $1 million. If I'm in a non-wealth offer, track with me here, I need to 10x the result in their mind of how valuable this is going to be. So you may ask yourself, Eileen, what does that look like? Well, let's think together about the amount of health offers there are in the biohacking space. People who are willing to spend $100,000 on equipment, coaching, masterminds, whatever, because they're looking for the end result of things like longevity. This is going to add 30 years plus to my life. I'm going to get rid of all this inflammation. The result may be different than making $1 million, but there are plenty of high ticket buyers that spend, as you would, can you agree? Let's talk about the med spa industry. Lots of money for end results. Let's go. $100,000 offers are typically immersive experiences like a VIP day or a retreat or intensive. You're going to get this end result by the end of this time together. Masterminds are often $100,000 offers. People will pay for proximity. So there's a lot of power. I've had people that will layer an influencer even into their $100,000 offer because other people will pay for proximity to power. The big takeaway, team, is there's no limit what you can put inside your offer. And there's no limit to how super sexy you could the simple, the better for your steps. The only limitations that exist are in our own mind. So that's why it's important to get in the room, watch channels like this, like, subscribe, I don't know, even click buttons below this video so you can keep brainwashing yourself because you've been so programmed by society. We need to brainwash yourself into $1 million days. Let's go. Okay, Sean, I'm coming back for you, man. I'm coming back for you. Let me hit these other questions and I'll come back for you. Okay. If you're having fun, type fun in the chat. Let's go. Then Mason, Renee. Okay, so Renee, I don't know. Let me know if you're here, but Renee's kind of like in the health space. She's helping people with skincare. Many offers around skincare are typically sometimes around helping other people start a skincare line. How did you grow and scale your business? kind of have to, a great way to do this, start shopping around. I love to go shopping on the internet and just like look around for like skincare high ticket offers. I'm going to Google that up. I'm going to look for um, intense immersive experience in Switzerland. I'm going to travel to the factory, watch us start your own e-commerce skincare, luxury skincare line. I'm just going to go shopping. That's your homework, Renee. Kalani, he said, what daily activity should I do to fill my events? That was a great question. The only thing I'm doing to focus on filling is 2 moves. Number 1, partnering with people. So like getting on podcasts, getting on other people's stages, because the best way to fill events is leveraging other people's audiences. So I'm going to get loud and do a lot of interviews. That's it. I'm going to do a lot of interviews, and I'm going to be going live on my social media platforms. Those are the daily activities. Oh, there's Kalani. Yeah, now in some of the Kalani, you kind of have to think like I love the word that you used, daily activities, because you want to be thinking about this will pay off short term and long term. So it's not just short term activities, it's both. So you think about if you're constantly on stages and you're dropping the same link to a masterclass or challenge, you tracking like those are evergreen pieces of content that will go on and on and on for the end of time, driving traffic to your masterclass and event. So interviews and going live, providing content on my social media platform. If I was able to make that more tactical, I'd probably just say go live for 5 minutes. That is great for the algorithm right now on both YouTube and Facebook right now. Yeah. And it gets you in a rhythm, of just dropping value. You will never lack for people in your master classes that way. So congratulations, Kalani. Regina, I don't know if you heard Dr. Tooby. She was asking, I'm not a native English speaker, Eileen. What would be my encouragement for you? And our friend, Dr. Tooby, was advised. She said she's had some great success with our systems and just made $64,600 off of master classes. And she was encouraging our friend Regina that she wasn't a native English speaker. So yeah, I would just encourage you, like, this can work for you even if English isn't your first language. Sometimes if you want some practical tips here, you could partner with somebody that you feel is maybe sometimes I like do bridging things if I'm trying to get myself into a new level. So I'll partner with somebody who's a great English speaker who's a friend of mine that could help me do my master classes with me. Does that make sense? So sometimes I'll just bridge my way into success. If I'm struggling with somebody, just partner with somebody, do your first master class, make an invitation, and have somebody there as an MC or a co-host that could help you just feel comfortable, feel confident, maybe even take some portions of the speaking for you. Awesome. Okay. How am I doing, team? High maintenance speaker up here. Thanks, Katie. Thank you. Okay, well, so good. Loving this. Totally tracking. Thanks, Kalani. Thanks, Michael. Ashley said to add to that, if little to no followers, okay, going live on YouTube and Instagram could get people to message. Yes, that is true. Ashley, now obviously partnering with other people, it'll go faster. So I'll often go live with other people and do podcasts live with other people. But there's actually this incredible gift, Ashley, when your audience is small. Ask me how I know, which is you can be bad. I'm speaking for myself. You're probably amazing, but be bad, but in front of a smaller group of people. Like, how when you're first getting started or you're first getting on camera and you're kind of terrible, and if that's not your story, it definitely is mine. Feel free to scroll back on this YouTube channel to see my earlier videos. You have the gift of finding your voice, but in a smaller group of people. Isn't that great? So don't sleep on that gain, and definitely don't despise a small following. The Bible says don't despise like the day of small beginning. But like, have you ever thought about how insulting it is to call your audience small, or your email list small, or your Facebook followers small, or like your Instagram following small? Have you ever thought about that? Like how disrespectful it is to the audience? because every follower, every email subscriber, every person is a life. Every person's a story. Every person's a mom, a dad, a son, a daughter. Every person is giving you their most valuable time and online, their most valuable asset, right? Their email address. And like, how dare you disrespect their time, their gift? You know? You ever thought about that? So honor the room, honor the list. If you show up in a master class and it's you and your mom and one other person, over deliver. Show up. Preach like it's to 1,000 people. Act like you're Tony Robbins up in there. Honor the time and what you've been given, and more will be given to you. So don't go all up in here. There were only 3 people in my master class. Are you kidding me? So 3 lives you could change right there, and you'll never get that time back. And nor will they. So, sidebar, thank you for being here. Thank you for watching, and I'm honoring you because you are. Every transaction in life is a transaction in time. Oh, snap. Oh, snap. Okay, I am doing better than I think I'm doing. How do I do? Gabrielle, are you in the building? She had a great question. She's like, I'm selling a leadership program. How do I speak in a way that increases the desire for this transformational leadership program? The key to releasing desire in your audience is storytelling. So storytelling is the way to unlock the desire, along with doing super sexy ninja sauce techniques such as let me see if you guys, such as things like price marinating, which is talking about offers, services you have, even if they're being made for the very first time. What's an example of this? So one of the reasons Dr. Tubi was crushing it in her, I'll post her interview soon, was she was offering something for a VIP day. She talked about her VIP day in her event, and she said that the VIP day was $50,000. Now, what's cool about this is the audience heard that, and that price got anchored in their mind, and they're marinating on this very high VIP day price. Very high is subjective, as you know. And then later, when they got to her offer and they found out her offer was like way less, they were like, oh my gosh, that's so cool. I can get it for that price because you said working with you for a day was $50,000, but I'm going to be able to work with you for 6 months or 3 months for this. Now, I heard the VIP that was one-on-one, but this is a group session, but I can see that your time and what you offer and your expertise is so valuable. So there are techniques to increase desire. In my world, I am educating the audience. This is who you're dealing with. This is what I do. This is how, like right now we're charging $20,000 an hour for coaching. So like, no, sir and madam and ma'am, you can't just like hop on the phone and pick my brain like that. My brain is very valuable. Even more valuable is my time. So you want to increase desire, awareness, and education by techniques such as price marinating. So, okay. Oh my gosh, I am doing so good. Let's go, Eileen. I'm going to go a little bit faster. Tim said, I'm a comedian and I'm told to get to the point, get to the punchline. How am I going to talk for 4 hours in a masterclass? How am I going to speak? Like, should I even talk that long? And I love comedians. I love studying comedy. And yes, you want to get to the point, but here's what more you want is you want time in the room with you. So the more time that people spend with you, the more they'll buy. It's just a law of know, like, and trust. Would I buy from somebody if I spent 5 minutes with them? Probably not. In fact, Daniel Priestley says that there's a 7-hour rule, that people need to consume 7 hours of your content before they buy. Crazy, right? But many entrepreneurs don't even have 7 hours of content that could be consumed online, on demand. So your masterclass does a lot of things at once. And that's the beauty of this system, which is if you don't have a lot of content, you haven't produced a lot online, you want to produce a room that they can spend hours with you so that they can convert at the end of that class. It speeds the cycle, it's speed to the sale, speed the cycle to conversion. So you want to fill it, Tim and friends, with a lot of storytelling, which I know Tim is like amazing at. A lot of storytelling that overcomes false beliefs. You want a lot of time for takeaways, meaning people sharing what's resonating with them, allowing the audience to interact. Time for Q&A. Time for breaks, time for guest speakers. You can fill that time any which way you want to, but you can't get around the law of time of know, like, and trust. So immersion causes conversion. Whoa, let's go. Sean, I nailed your question, but you may have more. I'm coming back for you if you do. Mike, a couple more questions. Mike's in nonprofit work, and he's like, Eileen, how in the world do I charge for my stuff? And if you're in the nonprofit ministry space, I lived there for 20 years in Washington, D.C. I had the privilege of being an associate creative pastor for a church there. And my greatest gift to those of you in ministry and in nonprofit work is, first of all, I almost feel like I'm talking to the military. I want to be like, I thank you for your service. And then tell you this, looking at the scripture and looking at the Bible, one of the biggest things I see is for us to create a for-profit business. The amount of parables, stories, talking about money, talking about stewarding wealth, talking about leveraging wealth, borrowing money, multiplying money, you can't get around it. So one of the greatest gifts I think God wants to give us is the gift of entrepreneurship, the gift of being God-like and creating on the earth, having dominion, having a business, creating wealth. I think it's our inheritance. So my biggest advice is like, go crush it in a for-profit business, and then take that profit, start your own nonprofit, start your own foundation. We have the privilege of owning a nonprofit called the Wilder Foundation, and we're the biggest donors to it. And I love that we don't have to ask other people to donate. We just give to it from our business. And if I'm just being honest, I did not know that this was the biblical system laid out. I don't know why. I just thought, like, I honestly believe God wants you to make money so you can give money away. And so so I think it's just been very touching for me to see that we've given away more money than we ever thought possible. And there's no end in sight. You know what I mean? Like, there's a cap on you if you're in nonprofit work, you have your salary or donations perhaps. You can I don't know, you can just crush it with profit and start giving money away. So that's where I would focus my energies and efforts looking back. And that's why I'm here on this video, showing up here is to tell you, like, God wants you to profit, and he wants you to bring something valuable to the marketplace. Now you may be asking yourself, Eileen, how do I do that? Quick answer, the fastest way that I've done that is I go find someone with an offer and an audience. Like, I find another entrepreneur. If I was learning the game right now, and I would go earn while I learned, gaining the skills to pay the bills by working with an entrepreneur who's got an offer and an audience, and I would help them sell from stage all day. We call that event consulting. It's the fastest way to make money. Why? Because you don't need an offer and you don't need an audience. They already have it. Here's what they don't have. Fire sauce speaking. The ability to sell without sounding salesy or sleazy. Are you aware that those skills are missing in today's day and age, young people? Like, many people sound pushy, and many people are super boring pants in their presentation. So that's what we help people with. Hopefully that's helpful. Hopefully I can save someone's life out there who wants to be a big giver. You can go offer the world something extremely valuable, which is the #1 highest paid skill on the planet, selling from stage. What else do you know can make you $3 million in one day? And take a percentage of that. So that's how you roll. You take it's called revenue share. So you can get event consulting clients by saying, hey, is it cool if I help you sell your stuff and only get paid out of the results that I make you? Is that making sense? Saving people's lives out here, these internet streets. Dr. Lauren. Oh, can't read my, oh, okay. Dr. Lauren was like, Eileen, what is your routine when you sit down to work? Which I kind of started laughing in my head because I was like, I don't know if they're going to like, this is not going to sound super smarty pants sophisticated. Like, what's my routine when I sit down to work? Can I be honest? I never really think I'm working. And I don't really sit down. Like, I know this sounds so weird. Like, I don't really, well, okay, here's what would be helpful. I think she was kind of like, how do I identify what I should be working on? I only think about one thing only, and this will make you a lot of money, is what's going to drive the most revenue in my business right now? What's going to drive the most revenue in my business right now? Let me give you an example. Right now, I'm aware that if I wrote a book, which I have a few books, but if I wrote a book in my business, I could reach more people. And I know that that would cause a lot more revenue. Does that make sense? So if I was just getting started, listen, okay, this is going to be helpful. Stand by. If I was just getting started, let me start from this frame. If I was just getting started, if I sat down and worked, I would focus on one thing and one thing only, and that is building my high ticket cash machine. Let's call it HTCM, high ticket cash machine. Why would I focus only on that? The high ticket cash machine would be something where I had an offer that I could sell one to many. Why? Well, let me give you this example from Elon Musk. When he built Tesla, he started with the highest paid car first. He only produced some model something first, and he only made a few of them. Why? So he could take that money and build the next car down, which was some other kind of Tesla car called Model something. Take that money and build the next car down, and then take that money and build the cheaper car. And the cheaper car, he made a lot more of. Maybe there's some Tesla superstars in the audience that could educate the people. It's called a descension launch plan. Many entrepreneurs are building it the opposite way. They're starting low ticket. Let me know, type pain in the chat if you've been here. They're starting with their $27, I'm just going to speak from my $27 super sexy ebook. And they're like, I'm going to make $1 million if I just offer this ebook. Do you know how long it will take you to make $1 million with a $27 ebook? The Lord Jesus may come by the time you make $1 million with $27 ebook. So they're like, and then they think, okay, then I'm going to make a course or a coaching program. And then I'm going to dominate that. And that's going to be how I hit 10 million. Sidebar, no. Low ticket, mid ticket. And then eventually when I've been in the game 22 and a half years and I get X amount of awards and knighted and ordained and anointed, then I'll sell high ticket. It's an ascension launch plan. Are you seeing it? That is going to take forever. Forever. And you have to be an absolute ninja, like a double diamond, triple certified copywriter to get your ads, sales pages, and funnels converting to make a profit. If you have been there, done that, let me know in the comments. Okay. Some emoji. I don't even know. It's just so painful. But if you start high ticket, I would focus. If I had to sit down and work and get into a daily routine, I would make sure I just build this once. Because if I build it once, then anything else I do on social, or if I make a lower ticket product, which I have these now because I did it the right way. I started high ticket, then I'm going lower. I've got a $2,000 course. It's fire. I don't know, Google search around the internet. So it's high ticket, then mid ticket. But once I build this, that's what I would focus on first. Listen, making $1 million, $10 million, $20 million isn't hard. It's about doing it in the right sequence. Just pausing for meditative reflection. It's just about sequence, because once you build this, then you can go out, make all the noise you want, get out on social, and now you're leading them back to the number one thing that will drive the revenue in your business. Whereas in low ticket clients, they're getting out on social, getting burned out, frankly, driving them back, but they're just not, the profit margins can't sustain and grow and scale the business. So hopefully this is making sense. High five your neighbor and say sequence. That's what I would focus on in my morning routine. Now, my morning routine, here's what I'm focused on now, is because this is all built. I'm going low ticket now, and I've been in business 5-6 years. Yes, I probably could have figured this out a lot faster. That's kind of like why I'm out here on these streets teaching and training, is to save you years and hundreds of thousands of dollars figuring this all out. So the revenue driver for me now is building those low ticket products. So I won't go into a lot of detail, but that's what I'm sitting down focused on. Okay, team, I see some cool questions coming in too. I love this for you guys sticking around. Let me answer. I think I've got a few more. Actually, Michael, I didn't 100%. Michael, you were here. You asked a great question about the hook in the ads. Yeah, okay. So Michael was asking a really cool question actually about ads, and it was a little. Michael, if you're here, if you want to restate the question, here's what I'm doing in my ads. I promised you kind of a script. I'm like, yo, ideal person, do you want to big end result? Do you want to, sorry, I'm just, girls fixing their hair. Do you want to big end result? Do you want to crush it from stage with a perfect pitch? Do you want to big end result and get rid of this problem you're facing right now? So here's Michael here. I'm starting to transform this and call out my perfect high ticket buyer and say, and are you willing to get rid of a lot of overwhelm, a lot of sales calls and sales teams? So I'm starting to transform them, doing something Russell Brunson taught me, which is throwing rocks at what they're currently doing and saying, stop doing all that. Get into my car. In fact, I heard him talk about it's like other people are inside a car. I think he didn't say this. I'm elaborating on it. And you roll up in your amazing car, music's there's a party going on. You got some friends in there. I don't know. The sunroof's open. You're just loving life. And you're like, yo, get out of that car and not that you'd ever want to do this actually in real life, but you're like, yo, get out of that car and get into this car. Stop that vehicle that you're driving. Stop doing it that way and start doing it this way. This way is so much better and so much more fun. You're going to love your life about 8 million times better if you just close from stage in an event than hustling and grinding it on calls and sales teams. Ugh. So that's what I'm doing in ads. Hey, do you want this super sexy end result? And stop this terrible pain that you're in? If you're tracking with me, can you see the hell heaven framework? Do you want this heaven and get out of that hell? Oh, well, in this masterclass, we're going to track with me. Step 1, step 2, step 3. Yeah, the heaven and hell framework, you see it everywhere. Help you sell all your stuff. Oh, Aaron thinks I'm funny. Thanks, Aaron. High five. I will pay you later. Okay, that's all the questions I got on the board. I see some more coming in. Let me drop some question marks if you got a question so I can just see it. Oh, okay. So And maybe if you've already asked a question and I missed it, feel free to drop it back in. I can see chat's going pretty fire. So I see Michelle Blackwell. What's up? Oh, no, you're talking to Michael. Pardon me. Private conversation. Phil, what's up, Phil? Any tips on how to attract busy, high-powered B2B entrepreneurs to do a masterclass? Let me get this. Business-to-business entrepreneurs. Okay, got it, Phil. So you're attracting high-level entrepreneurs, Phil? Talk to me. Are we on Facebook, LinkedIn? Are these CEOs or corporate people? Because those kind of people don't normally come to a masterclass, but they do fire with a VIP day funnel. Case study video, book a link to a call. High-level people, you kind of got to go shorter. Now, Phil, if I'm being really surprisingly honest on my own experience, while we think high-level entrepreneurs won't come to a challenge or a masterclass, every single one of my VIP day buyers, so there's $250,000 and more with revenue share, have attended my masterclasses and challenges. They're often there with their camera. I don't want anybody to think their camera's off. You're acting high level, but they're there watching me and their team's watching me. And what I found, Phil, is they're auditioning me. Not that that feels weird, but that's what's happening. They're like, it's demonstration sales. Do you know what I mean? It's kind of like, does she have the sauce? They're kind of evaluating the investment is what it feels like. They're like, yeah, okay, I get it now. This is worth that. And in a way, kind of justifying the investment. Maybe it's because they're using that content to be like the 7 hours for them. I'm going, okay, the 250 makes sense because I can see now I'm going to make $1 million. So I really want to encourage those of you with that strategy, because it's like people, Phil, don't do a masterclass on entrepreneurs because they're like, oh, I'm going after high-level people, and high-level people don't attend that stuff. Are you sure? Because like volume practice, practical experience is like they're going to need something. And what is that something? I think I did really great on that question, Phil. I'm very into encouraging my own self. What's up, Tiffany? Oh, wait, everyone's talking to Michael. Michael, you're getting loads of love in here. Okay, look at this. Love it. Everyone is coach each other up. What's up, Allison? Leila, how do you run a Facebook challenge if you don't know how to use the funnel? Talk to me, girl. A Facebook challenge doesn't need a funnel. You would need a Facebook group. You can only use the group as the funnel. Like, when you're accepting people into the group, just make sure you're asking them 2 questions. This is going to be very valuable for you, Leila. Number 1, what's your email? So I can send you more valuable tips and tell you about a free bonus training we're going to do. So make sure you get their email and ask them what their biggest challenge is. What's your number 1 challenge trying to accomplish blank? And that will give you, what's your number 1 challenge trying to achieve whatever it is your masterclass or challenge is about? That will give you a lot of great ideas for the content of what you could and should be teaching in the challenge. Yeah, I didn't have a funnel either when I got started. I started with a Facebook group. Middle ranking tech owners, Phil. I always hit them a couple different ways, Phil. I've got that VIP day funnel and my challenge. So I'm not kind of sleeping on any angle of it. I don't know which way they're going to need everything, Tiffany, woo, woo, woo. Yeah, Tiffany, what could you speak about for a couple hours without any notes? Like if you were sitting at Starbucks. So Tiffany's like, I don't know what to speak about. If you were meeting with coffee with your best friend, like what could you literally not shut up about? And maybe they'd be like, you know what, Tiffany, I gotta go. Or they maybe you're but you lose track of time. What can you speak about that you lose track of time? And you feel kind of elated and energized after talking about it. Those are kind of the signals. That's a message. That's something God's given you, a desire and a passion, Aaron's like, I'm such an introvert and an awkward speaker. Where do I even start? Do you want to start speaking, Erin? I'd ask that question for you too. Drop it in the chat. Like, what are you drawn to? What are you passionate about? What could you talk about for hours? I know this sounds funny, but I have a friend that cannot stop talking about baking. She just can't stop, won't stop. She's made millions of dollars. Isn't that amazing? I'm going to call you Mike right now. I think it is Mike. How do we target those that can afford our course? You know, for our targeting, Mike, we just target like everybody in the whole world. We don't target based on income, and we do it via video. So we let the video start to pull in our qualified or most people who can afford it. So I'll start to speak to the hell, the heaven, the pain, and if they can afford it, like they're going to come toward me because they have that pain and that struggle. And then typically they're coming into the masterclass, which we're charging for. So I'm starting to call out buyers. Does that make sense? So we don't target just like high ticket, like certain people via income. We just target everybody and then reveal our prices, and anybody who doesn't buy, they don't buy. Ooh, okay. I think I answered. Yeah, cool. All right, awesome. Yeah, awesome. Oh, so hot. Let's go, Michelle. Thank you. I received that. I think she's talking about my information. April Beach in the building. Are you for real here, girlfriend? April Beach, who's the owner of Sweet Life Company and Podcast. April, I was literally thinking about you today. April is fire in certifications, licensing. She's awesome. April, maybe I could ask my question here live. If you are here, let me know in the chat. It would save me time of trying to look up your cell phone number. Amazing. Oh my gosh, Allison thinks I'm funny. That actually made my day. Thank you. Oh, okay. We got a question. Victoria, what? Oh, you are here. Okay. Okay, April, let me ask you my question first, and I'm coming back for you, Victoria. April, have you ever seen it done where somebody sells a 50 or 100K certification? I'm talking for myself here, a 50 or 100K certification with also giving the purchaser of the certification licensing rights. Hopefully this can make sense, to use my brand testimonials, XYZ, et cetera. Forgive me for having this private conversation with April Beach online. She's just the only person I know who can answer this question. So what I'm trying to do is, a lot of people are asking me to use my testimonials, use my brand, and sell my stuff. Like sell my $1 Million Masterclass, sell my workshops, all this stuff. And so my thought is that I would join, I can't believe I'm talking about this out loud, like them to partner with me, join my speaker team. They go out and speak on other people's stages, podcasts, host their own masterclasses, say they're a partner with me and a speaker with me, and then basically sell my VIP day. Okay, I know she's processing probably. Sell my VIP day, bring the VIP day person back to me, and then I'll give them, I don't know, 50K or something like that for bringing the, it's kind of like in mergers and acquisitions. Forgive me, team. I'm just going to talk. In M&A, mergers and acquisitions, they have like deal scouts, or in real estate, they would have bird dogs. They bird dog the deal. And feel free, April, if this is a lot, it's a standard certified licensing offer that can be organized. What I'm trying to protect, April, is the people that I've worked with in my testimonials from getting, I don't know, like hounded. Do you know what I mean? Like, so say somebody's not really good, which I would try with the certification to make sure that they're really good and integrous and great speakers and represent well. But if I find somebody that somehow takes advantage of that and is using my testimonials, and then my people, I'm not sure this is making sense, but then my clients get hounded. I don't want any of that. So I want to protect everybody, but it's just an idea. If you have any thoughts, feel free to hit me up wherever we're hooked up. I can't remember if I think we're text, box, or email, Instagram, something like that. I don't remember. Something I'm playing around with. The offer you don't make, no one can take. Okay, so this is April Beach. If you could, I'm putting her on my screen so that you can follow her YouTube channel. Those who are certified in your process are then qualified to speak in. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Thank you for that. I'll text you. Okay, back to this. Ladies and gentlemen, let's go to April Beach. Thank you, friend. Okay. All right, that was $100,000 valuable question answered for me. So thank you, April. Going back up to Victoria, she says, what are your thoughts on choosing between an offer for homeschooling families or business to help them develop their homeschool partner offer? Interesting. I don't know what a homeschool partner is, Victoria. Can you elaborate in the comments? Now, Victoria, I will say I have helped a few people in the homeschooling space, and you just got to nail your messaging correctly, Victoria. Some people would say that the homeschooling market's a broke market. I have seen some people crush it and do very successful, and they're positioning their message of, hey, I will help save you, watch this, $60,000 or more of college tuition through my method. Here's another one. I will help save you 600 hours and $2,000 in tuition fees, helping your student crush it on this entrance exam. Okay, so these were homeschooling offers. I'm just letting you know, just because I love you and I consider you part of my orbit here on YouTube. You just gotta watch that messaging because I don't want to see you waste time getting it wrong in a broke market. Okay. Drea, what's up, girl? How does your mind think about, you guys are getting so good with your questions. How does your mind think about the legitimate scratchiness your 80/20 changes cause for other people? Oh, for example, my availability is changing because I'm shifting my focus. Okay, Drea, let me know if I got this right, girl. Are you saying, how does my mind think about it when I start to distance myself because I'm in a new season? I'm shifting my focus more towards my priorities, my purpose. Let me know if I'm kind of getting that right. If it is, I'm going to speak to it. I started developing the habit, Drea, of not caring what other people think. That is a great habit to adopt. I started caring more about what my creator was going to say to me after I got done with this race. I started caring more about the voice of that calling. I started caring more about the feeling of fulfilling my potential here on the earth. I started caring way more about the applause from my family. I started caring way more about the lives I was called to change. I started caring more about the families I was called to reach, the legacies I was going to, I've been able to build hundreds of thousands and millions of dollars in other people's families. I started caring more about the echo of my legacy than the pain of my past, So it's kind of like, let the people go. Your elevation is contingent on your separation. You know what I'm saying? Like, and the strangest thing started happening, Dre. Let me make it like practical. I remember one time my friends were downstairs. This was in the apartment building, and I had a great crew. And like, a shout out if you're watching this channel. I loved hanging out with you, and we would sit down, and we'd actually even start to talk business and entrepreneurship. But there was something about the season that I was in that I knew I was called to focus, and in particular, focus on building this machine, this masterclass. I knew it. I knew it in my bones. And that night, I was sitting there writing my messages, working on slides, and they were downstairs. And it was one of the very first times that I felt that pain of, I can't do it. Like, I won't hit my goal. I won't hit it. The class is coming up. I'm not going to nail it. And so your no's are required to get to your yes. They're required. It's like dues paid. You've got to say no. Warren Buffett says 9 out of 10 times he says no. Were they and I did feel a little something from my friends, and if I'm being honest, I might still feel it from some people, like, kinda like, "Oh, are you too good for us now?" I'm not too good for you. I'm on a mission, you know? I'm on a mission. And the feeling, Drea, that you'll get when not when other people approve of it, not even not it's the feeling that you'll get, the self-respect that you'll get that I am doing what I'm being called to do right now. I am I am obeying. I am I that feeling, is like worth I don't even know what it's worth, right? It's worth trillions of dollars, priceless. That feeling is feels really good. And then the funniest thing, Drea, will start to happen is the people that you thought you had to leave behind, some of them are going to come back, and some of them are going to just start paying you. In fact, there was a season, Drea, yeah, I mean, a lot of my new early clients were my friends. So not easy, but worth it. Gotta gotta let those people go. Drea, you're awesome. Monica Lopez-Berg. I teach my sales system to BB sales organizations face to face. Ooh. Do you, Monica? Yes. She says, "Can I sell the same system to other markets online?" Yes. Monica, girl, here's what the world needs more of. Sales teachers. Can I be super tactical with you? Nope, that's not the word. They really need female sales trainers. Girls are awesome. Ah, so fun. I'm literally having more fun right now than Oh, snap. Michelle Cameron Coulter coming on the deck. You don't make it to the top of the podium without saying no. Guys, Michelle is an Olympian. She is one of the coolest, best leaders, clients, leads women in helping them do the thing that they need to do and what they're called to do. Michelle, if I'm getting your name right, it's there. Drop the name of your program. It's like Gold Medal something sauce. Michelle's amazing. You don't make it to the top of the podium without saying, Michelle, make sure you drop that soundbite in your master classes. Drea says, "You're giving me even more permission." Drea says, "It's like I'm trying to control for collateral damage." Yeah. Victoria says, "I envision serving businesses that may not necessarily be in the homeschooling space." Cool. Yes. Awesome. April Beach has got a gold medal method. Let's go, Michelle. April Beach has got a question. Are you still using the 3 live event format as your conversation? Ooh, okay. You know, April, this is a great question because I was trying to think if I'd ever done my last live event, April, was in like as sales event was pre-COVID, like 2019, 2020, 2019, 2019. Was the last live event. And then when COVID happened, April, I had to shut it all down because, you know, I don't know if that was the same in your town, but they were not allowed to let us have hotel events in Houston, Texas. So from that point forward, that's what switched me into virtual master classes and challenges. So I went into 4-hour master classes and then 4-hour master classes and 5-day challenges. Ever since then, I bounce back and forth, kind of whatever the team tells me to do, we're doing that week. Yeah. So yeah, I don't know, April, are you doing something like that? Virtual events, sales events? 4-hour masterclass, fire sauce. You can do book a call or price reveal. 5-day challenge. You can go to book a call or price reveal. You should get into that sauce, April. Like how to use licensing and certifications to, I don't even know. I was going to say to exit or to, I don't know. Something about that though, that I think everybody and their mom wants to know about that. Oh, online events. You meant online events. Yeah, so I don't normally do a 3-day. That sounds really fun though. I'm usually like a 4-hour or a 5-day challenge. Oh, okay. So she says we do online events as conversions, but I was thinking about doing a 3-day summit. Okay. Well, April, talk to me about how your conversions are, because so we have a lot of clients that sign up that have done summits, and there's two problems I see with summits. Number one, there's like 9 million times harder to do than a 4-hour masterclass or a 5-day challenge. It's like 82 speakers, there's like recordings, there's like you have to be like a NASA engineer to like put it all together. And the worst part is you're not speaking the whole time. And if you're a trained speaker that knows how to overcome objections and sell from stage, the audience isn't getting the belief shifting they need to convert. So what you're doing is like clogging it with a bunch of tactical, maybe subpar speakers, taking all the time, leaving the audience not changed and with a ton of false beliefs that we don't have time to cover because you can get all the bits in. Then we go to the offer, conversions are low. So it's like, hey, would you like to work 900 million times harder with lower conversions? Do a summit. That was some honest conversation. But that's what I'm trying to be, team. I'm trying to be honest. Okay, I've got ND coming in hot with a question. If you make 2 different audience offers, how would you run them in tandem and one offer? Help me out here, man. Two different audience offers. What does that mean? If I'm helping 2 different audiences? Yes, Michelle said, if you can do a summit, you can do anything. Okay, you convert 90% via application. Okay, okay, great. Yeah, because you're awesome. You were thinking about scaling. April, how many people do you kind of get on average in your events? Here's what I would do if I was scaling. If you're at 90% app, like book a call rate, and everybody buys, for scaling, are you running ads right now, April? For scaling, this is what works really well is crush your high ticket. You need no changes, right, on your back end. Maybe you could layer in a 50 or 100K unless you have it. Yeah, she's like 3 days sounds like a nightmare, and a summit sounds like herding cats. Let's screenshot that and post that on the internet, because that's just hashtag the truth. So what's crazy sauce for scaling, April, is like crush the high ticket, maybe layer in an extra, you know what I mean? Like a 25, 50, 100K offer. And like, for instance, April, maybe we should do this together. It's like a lot of people don't know how to make certification offers. I love them making them personally. People be like, learn how to make certification offers for others, you know? Whatever. Sometimes where people are missing some high ticket offers, but then go low, go like 2K automated course. 2K automated course pays for all your ads. So we can scale infinitely because we're not like, I'm going to say we're paying for traffic, but we're getting paid to acquire the customer, right? Through the funnels and through the automations. This is all stuff. If this is like, you're like, what are you talking Chinese, Japanese, like you're saying something I don't even understand right now. It's okay. I was the same way. But you can grow and scale infinitely by layering in those lower ticket that pay for all the ads. And then your back end is just all profit. They call it the profit maximizer. That's how I would scale. Don't do the summit. That's not it. Like an educational event, I would just take your front end masterclass layer in the lower tickets, drive more. So then you get, you're getting paid to acquire a customer. Now you're getting hundreds, if not thousands of people to come to your awesome sauce masterclass. Oh yeah. Now, yeah. Okay. So April says we're building a mid ticket. I currently only have high ticket and a very low $47. It takes a second, April, if you're like me and you rolled long in the high ticket world, like building an automated course and webinar was maybe the hardest thing, April, if I'm being really honest, like I've ever done. Like slides, not people there live. That was level 9 million anxiety for me. I have somebody I could also introduce you to, April, that could help you if you want some assistance with that. She's awesome. Clarence said, what's a certification offer? I wish I could bring April on for you to answer. That's a great question, Clarence. So April, feel free to chime in the chat, but certification offer is a high ticket offer. Typically, they're not always, but I make them high ticket. A certification offer is where you have some kind of framework or system that can be repeatable. That, like, if other people do it, they'll get the same result. Let me give you an example. My friend Brooke Castillo, founder of the Life Coach School, she has this really cool framework for like thinking. And so she created a certification offer. There's like some steps to the thinking, like I don't know how to think correctly. And you can get certified in her process so you can actually take her process and go coach your people as a life coach. Kind of like you take her framework that helps people think really well and you're like, okay. And then you go over and start coaching people with her framework and her method. So certification offers work great if you have a system that can be repeated in someone's life. Additionally, almost every software company that you've ever encountered, I was going to give a plug, there's a book written on this, has a certification offer. So if you certify people in Microsoft, in Intel, and Infusionsoft, you can certify people and then they're like, yo, I'm Microsoft certified. So everybody and their mom has a certification offer. Oh, thank you, April. Certification offers are like the gem of the internet. So much I could talk about that. Maybe in the challenge. If you guys have more questions, I'm not sure, Clarence, if you're in my challenge, but there is so much opportunity there, especially if you're helping say if you learn how to create a certification offer and you help other people create a certification offer, they'll pay you so much money for that. In fact, yeah, I'm just laughing because I love making certification offers. So I'm right now making an offer certification offer. Like you can become certified in my offer making process and go help write other people's offers. I have an event consulting certification where I certify you to go help with other people's events. So it's awesome. Certification offers are, yes, fitness trainer, says Drea. All right, team. Thanks for bringing the heat today. You guys, with your questions. I got my questions answered. Thank you, April. Oh, that's so sweet. She says, April says, if you don't work with Eileen, you should. She's actually a genius, gift in her business. You too, April. You too. It takes one to know one. I love knowing great people and referring great people to you. So, yes, Allison says, offer certification, offer, very meta. I will certify you to create certification offers. I love you guys. I love that you don't think I'm weird and I can nerd out like this with you. Amazing, amazing. Yes. Yeah, and if you Ashley's like, I'd love to help with other people's events. I'd love to learn about your certification. Woo, woo, woo. Yeah, if you want to dive deeper, there should be a link somewhere on this page or below this video to join us in an upcoming challenge if we can serve you, make your offer super sexy, help you sell from stage. Most of all, I just want to thank you for watching. Thanks for being here, being a part of this community. I'm so grateful to be alive right now, aren't you? And getting to be with people like you in the arena, doing the things, taking action. I love it. All right, teams. I can't wait to see you all on the next video, or I'll see you tomorrow inside the challenge. Bye, guys. Have a beautiful day. That's right. Oh, Clarence, maybe I have to stop the video to see the link. I don't know. Hit me up somewhere on social. You'll see some link somewhere. All right, guys. I'll see you.